I'm your host, Annie Bowles, and this is News du Jour. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the News du Jour, a calmer space to consume the news. So I hope everyone had a fun and restful weekend. I know we did. We laid super low, just went to the park, got a run in, rested our bodies. It felt so freaking good. It was exactly what my family needed. But today we have absolutely no mini stories for you guys, but 3 other very important longer stories. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and jump in.
Your pets love it outside. Know who else does? Bugs, ticks, fleas, mosquitoes. They get on your furry ones, family, and on your nerves. Spray the bugs away with Wondercide's lab-proven plant-powered lineup for pets, family, home, and yard. Wondercide pest protection sprays exceed the same effectiveness standards required for conventional products, harnessing the power of nature to do the job. Wondercide, it's all good. And just for our listeners, get 20% off on Wondercide.com with coupon code PODCAST. That's WonderCIDE.com.
So first up for today, you guys may or may not have seen this one coming. Prince Charles is crowned King of England, but this is coming at the monarchy's most precarious time. A public holiday was observed, banks were closed, and the country essentially shut down for a coronation. But how invested are Britons now that so much of the curtain has been pulled back by Prince Harry? And since we have undergone a global racial awakening, the wealth and the opulence of the British monarchy came at the expense of countless human lives. Torture, slavery, and pillaging led to those jewels we see adorning crowns at this coronation. And is that something we can still admire now that we have really absorbed the truth? Britain has fought tooth and nail to keep their monarchy alive, but was a lot of that longevity due to the steadfast nature and long reign of Queen Elizabeth? It's worth asking. Charles is the first new reigning monarch in 70 years. That consistency may have prevented people from really taking a deeper look at this institution, as it remained somewhat quiet and stagnant. But this coronation came with protests throughout the day. 52 people were arrested. There are a lot of people in today's world that feel that the monarchy is not only outdated and unnecessary, but actually pretty fucked up. Alternative events also occurred. There was much mourning over the loss of a queen that could have been Princess Diana Spencer, mother of William and Harry. She was always the queen of people's hearts, and that kind of remains the case today. And with so many questions still lingering around her death, many use that as a reason to protest the royals as well. As we mentioned before, Prince Harry was in attendance, but Meghan was to stay home in California with their children. And it appeared from some video footage that has surfaced of Harry hopping in a town car that he may have ducked out early. Their decisions have begun to bury them. And by they, I mean, the reigning monarchs. Whether it's the ignoring of the violence of their past, continuing to profit off of stolen goods, furthering drama with Harry and Meghan, or the lack of acknowledgement over Diana's death. As a friend of mine put it, not doing anything about these things is a choice that they make every single day. Will it continue to bury them? We'll just have to wait and see. And then for our next story, I do have to issue a content warning here. This story involves a mass shooting. So, of course, we have to go over the Texas shooting today. I will say this just happened over the weekend, so there isn't a ton of information out about what happened yet. It is not dissimilar to other shootings, but I just wanted to give you guys the information that we do have as of right now. So this past Saturday, a gunman entered a Texas mall in Allen and shot and killed 8 people. Authorities did not identify the gunman until Sunday, but they discovered that he was a 33-year-old who had been staying at a motel near the mall. His name was Mercutio Garcia, and he was shot and killed on scene by police officers. Unfortunately, this is an incredibly familiar story, and those 8 people probably had no idea they would be next in the long list of names of people gone too soon at the hands of a deranged gunman. Many others were immediately rushed to hospitals. Our hearts go out to all those affected by these tragic events, and if more information comes to light and is important to get to you guys, we will be sure to keep you posted.
Your pets love it outside. Know who else does? Bugs, ticks, fleas, mosquitoes. They get on your furry ones, family, and on your nerves. Spray the bugs away with Wondercide's lab-proven plant-powered lineup for pets, family, home, and yard. Wondercide pest protection sprays exceed the same effectiveness standards required for conventional products, harnessing the power of nature to do the job. Wondercide, it's all good. And just for our listeners, get 20% off on Wondercide.com with coupon code PODCAST. That's WonderCIDE.com.
And to continue with today's theme of kind of depressing events, this story is very depressing, and it also comes with a content warning. So this story involves a murder. So there was an especially tragic event that occurred on a New York City subway train that has been causing controversy nationwide. A homeless man was reportedly acting erratically on a subway train, which, if you've ever been to New York, let alone lived there, you know this is fairly common. But what was uncommon was a U.S. military veteran standing up and putting this man in a chokehold and essentially strangling him to death in front of everybody's eyes. Yeah, that's what happened, and no arrests have been made. On May 1st, a 24-year-old white man named Daniel Penny, who is a Marine Corps veteran, put 30-year-old Jordan Neely, a black man, into a chokehold. Again, he was acting erratically on the subway and scaring some of the passengers. If you guys remember, there have actually been a couple of murders in recent years at the hands of the homeless in subways in New York City. So it's really not unfair of people to be nervous or scared around someone behaving in this way. The police were called, but because the train kept moving, it was taking some time for the police to get there. So Daniel Penny and a few others tried to step up and prevent him from harming himself or others. And that's when the chokehold commenced. There is video footage of the 4-minute chokehold that took Jordan Neely's life. Daniel Penny has retained counsel, and he actually went to a law firm whose founding members are former military. There have been protests throughout New York City on behalf of Black Lives Matter, as well as advocate groups for the homeless. This incident, no matter how you slice and dice it, is all around tragic. Our hearts go out to all of those hurting after these events, and if anything else happens in this case, we'll be sure to keep you guys posted. Of course, this ends up being a conversation about mental health, about services for the homeless, and what to do in big cities with homeless people who are acting erratically, how to get them to safety and make sure that everyone involved remains safe. At the end of the day, this has gone a bunch of different directions, and there haven't been any really solid solutions proposed. So it'll be interesting to see if the city takes any action in this case, whether it is to, prosecute Daniel Penny, or if it is to step up their game when it comes to homelessness in New York City. Regardless, if anything shakes loose from these events or if the protests continue, we'll definitely keep you guys posted. And that is the news du jour. Today, I wanted to leave you guys with the quote, "Those who forget their history are doomed to repeat it." If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe on whatever podcast platform you use to listen. A rate and review or shout out on social media would mean the world to us and help us be able to keep creating the news du jour. But the best way to support all of our work is to become a patron at www.patreon.com/sugarfree media. You can also follow us on social media under sugarfreemedia.co on Instagram and just sugarfreemedia, all one word, on TikTok. We appreciate you listening and look forward to telling you about the news again next time on News du Jour.
Broadcasting from
Your pets love it outside. Know who else does? Bugs, ticks, fleas, mosquitoes. They get on your furry ones, family, and on your nerves. Spray the bugs away with Wondercide's lab-proven plant-powered lineup for pets, family, home, and yard. Wondercide pest protection sprays exceed the same effectiveness standards required for conventional products, harnessing the power of nature to do the job. Wondercide, it's all good. And just for our listeners, get 20% off on Wondercide.com with coupon code PODCAST. That's WonderCIDE.com.